Started.
All right.
Hello,
Watch this.
hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Who are these two strange people that you're looking at?
Exactly.
Joe Barton here, wearing my hockey shirt and my new hat. Pops, that's my grandpa name. So exciting news in the Barton household, and we have Cheryl Raby here as well, down in Florida.
Yep.
And
Joe has some stories to tell
oh, you
about
do?
that.
Or oh, me? Yeah.
You.
Yes, I do. Leslie is gone this week, but Dr. Saunders should be hopping on at any moment now. But we're just going to welcome you guys here as we get rolling. So, yes, fun news in the Barton household. We've got our first grandchild was born this week ago today, actually, on my dad's 90th birthday, which was pretty awesome because they named him uh, with a little hat tip to my dad. So, my dad's name is Bob, and my dad likes to joke and say, like, yep, I'm B.O.B. He's like, B.O.B.? How do you spell that? B.O.B. Bob. So, pretty funny. And anyways, my son and daughter-in-law named their son Brooks Oliver Barton, B.O.B. And he was born on my dad's birthday. And it was just like, wow, what a amazing blessing. And that was definitely a God wink, we could call it. So, he's a week old today. I'm excited to see him tonight. And again, seen him 3 times now, but can never get enough of those little babies. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So, yeah, we're really blessed and just loving life right now with the little guy. And he's healthy. And yeah, it's fun. I'm finally earning these gray hairs I got on my chin. I probably would have them up here if I had any hair, but yeah, Grandpa Joe now, or Pops. So my boys call me Pops, so that's kind of how we ended up going with that. So
I
yeah.
like it. Yep.
Well, if you're here, go down to the chat and say hello and tell us where you're from. And let's see, Cheryl, what
What
little
are they
fun
doing for the
question?
4th of July weekend?
Oh, great. There you go. What are you doing for the fourth? That
It's a
is
normal parade and fireworks, or visiting a family cabin for the weekend, or what else could you do? Just have fun with your family? Nothing? Work?
what are you doing, Cheryl?
I don't have plans yet. Maybe go to the beach with my husband and then meet up with family later.
Oh yeah, I got
Tent
invited over to the Kelly family for whatever they're doing. So I think we're probably going to do that, and I'm sure they'll be shooting off some fireworks. And I mean, it's the middle of South Dakota, and it's just a blast. So literally, yeah.
Ryan Kelly is one of our tech guys, our main tech guy here at Barton. So that's where Joe's gonna go enjoy his
Yep,
family time.
5 miles down the road.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
All
it looks
right.
like we have people here from Orlando, East Tennessee, Amsterdam, Dayton, Ohio, Minneapolis. Who am I missing? East Tennessee, said that. Santa
Santa
Barbara.
Barbara, Florida Panthers, Iowa,
Yes.
Alaska. Oh wait, someone's going to Alaska. We'll get to
Iowa,
Tucson. All right.
Tucson.
Leech Lake Cabin. That sounds like paradise. That's awesome. I was just in Brainerd, well, Nisswa at Grandview Lodge with the family last week. Had a nice family vacation and yeah, celebrated my dad's birthday, my birthday. My oldest son got engaged and he's getting married in September in Ecuador. That's a whole nother story. So, yes, we are going to talk about health issues today. Eventually, we're going to wait for Dr. Saunders to join us to get into that, but we're just kind of having some fun time together and like this community. This is a special place. This webinar, the Barton webinar. So I'm glad that everyone is here, and it's kind of fun to make it fun, get to know people a little bit, and have some camaraderie. Because honestly, like the more technology advances and AI and all that kind of stuff, like the more isolated people can feel, honestly. Like it just
Sure.
feels like we lose that human connection. So we have tried bringing people on in video in the past, and like, yeah, we decided maybe not to do that because sometimes you can get distracted, or sometimes we'd have someone falling asleep and they'd be on video. And it's like, well, we don't want to do that, but love to have people interact in the chat. Also, if anybody would like to share any little short testimonial, just put it in the chat, like anything that any of our products that have helped you, or any success stories. If you've lost a bunch of weight, or if your A1C numbers have gone down, or any other health markers that you've experienced success with, sharing those is always great because it builds confidence and gives people hope when they read those and they're like, oh, if they can do it, I think I probably could too. And that's really what it is. Like, there's power in sharing your story. And we've seen and heard it from a lot of you that have shared that story. And honestly, as a company, that's really helpful for us. We share every testimonial that gets shared with people on our team. We post them in our little Slack channel, and we kind of celebrate those. And it just helps remind us of why we do what we do, and that we're here to help people. And this webinar is here to help you guys to just improve your health and to experience life. And really, I think transformation is what it's all about. And it's not necessarily something that happens overnight or by taking a pill or whatever, but it's all of it together. Like, it's the community, it's the education, learning from Dr. Saunders, reading in the diabetes solution kit or the healthy heart solution kit. It's taking the supplements that do help meet nutritional deficiencies. It's learning how to sleep better, and timing, biorhythms, fasting, circadian rhythms. And when you add all those together, like, the more of those that you can add, just like the more life you get to experience. So I'm a big believer in what Jesus said. He said, I've come to give life and life abundantly. And I think this is part of what we do. Like, we're helping point people to the life God intended them to live, and helping people get off medications, get out of the traditional medical system that is just overloaded, understaffed, undereducated, all of that stuff. So, Dr. Saunders, thanks for showing up late so I could just go on a 10-minute rant here. This has been great.
That was a fun rant. I listened to most of it.
Yes.
Well, we do want to say, put your questions in the Q&A. That's where we'll get to them to ask Dr. Saunders. And Leslie usually leads by saying, Dr. Saunders is the best doctor we know, but he's your doctor. So listen, take advice, and then decide whether or not you're going to talk to your doctor about it. But you can't follow his professional medical advice alone.
Yeah, in other words, don't sue us if you do
Yeah.
something that he says, because we don't know if it's going to apply perfectly to you or not. Like, you might, have something, special case where something he says isn't going to be helpful, but 9 times out of 10 or 99 out of 100, like, it's just solid stuff that works for most people.
Is it marginal advice or just bad advice? You get what you pay for, right?
Yeah. Well, if that were the case, I think we could charge $1,000 an episode on this webinar, honestly. So, yeah.
Each.
And Dr. Saunders, you said this, like, this is probably like the best thing we have in Barton. Like, we have great supplements, great products, but like, this is it. This time where you come on and teach, and then we answer people's questions, and we can just like now we're like having church together, honestly, a little bit. So
I think knowledge is just the most important thing, because if if you don't know how to do something, then you're not going to be able to do it. And knowledge gives you ability, it gives you power. And so that's probably what I like the most about this, is empowering people to say, oh, I can do that. And that's part of what Joe was saying too. People sharing their stories and going, I did it. I followed the program, and my hemoglobin A1C went from 12 down to 5. And everybody's like, yeah, good job. But then there's all of the other people who go, wow, my hemoglobin A1C is 12. I wonder if I could do that. And so that's the really cool thing. It's empowerment both in getting the information, and then the other part is seeing other people do it and go, yeah, okay, it's possible.
Can I share one testimonial? Joe was talking about how we hear testimonials, and I would love to share this one. I switched insulin recently. In doing so, my hands and feet and legs were tingling and hurting really bad. I'm on Nervala, and I've been using it for a long time. My feet and legs felt very good, not hurting. Then when I changed my insulin, everything changed. I didn't know what to do. So I contacted Barton service desk. They instructed me to take berberine. I followed their instructions, and the pain that I had changed. The intolerable pain I had is pretty much gone. I take 2 Nervala and berberine daily. It's great to have a team of people who can help me because they know things about neuropathy, probably because they have a doctor who they can refer to. That was from Don J.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excelente. All right. Well, let's see. Our topic today, Leslie's gone, so we're kind of scrambling a little bit right now, but let's
Diseases
see.
of the heart.
What was it?
Diseases of the heart.
Diseases of the heart. Dr. Saunders, tell us about diseases of the heart, please.
Okay, so the heart is just a muscle. It's just a pump. It's nothing more than that. And so we often talk about diseases of the heart being our emotions, right? It's like, oh, I have heart disease because I have a broken heart because somebody died. It was really important to me or something. And that's one thing. And what's really interesting is that's a real thing. That they found this at first. I've talked about this before, Takotsubo syndrome, where women in Japan that were widowed would get this funny looking heart that looked like a trap where they trap an octopus. It's called Takotsubo. So, and the heart would look like that when they do x-rays of the heart, and they wonder why that is. Well, it's because one part of the heart has a decreased blood flow. And so your blood vessels in your heart can close off and not allow blood flow to a certain part of the muscles of the heart. So the muscle just quits working. It's just a muscle, but it needs energy. So it's like, somebody cuts off the wire going to a pump, or the motor to the pump, and the motor just quits working. That's what it does because there's no energy getting to it. So that's why the blood flow is so important. So when we talk about diseases of the heart, in the mechanical sense, the diseases are all something's not working that's supposed to be working. So what is it? Well, one big one is what I just said. If you don't have blood flowing constantly to that heart, then that is not going to keep working. It's just like, if you want your pool pump to work, you've got to have power going to it all the time. If you stop the power, the pump shuts off and then it doesn't work and you're not going to filter your water. And then so you turn it back on and voila, everything starts working again. Your muscles have to have a constant supply of energy getting to them from the blood. And they have to have a constant removal of all their waste products. So this is not something that can come and go. Other areas of your body, it can. So what if your arm, what if your muscles, like your biceps muscle, the blood flow completely shuts off? We used to do that when I was in surgery at UCLA. When they were doing hand surgery, they would put a blood pressure cuff around, pump it up until it said, until the blood supply was completely shut off. And then they would do the hand surgery with no blood. So that wasn't bleeding, because your hands bleed like stink when you cut them, right? But these guys were doing hand surgery with no blood at all. And then they'd stitch it up, and then they would let the pressure out of the blood pressure cuff so that the blood comes back into the hand, make sure there's no bleeding, and then they close everything up. And it was beautiful. And they could do surgery for an hour, 2 hours, and there's no blood supply getting there. What the heck? Does it die? No, it's fine. Why? Because it just quits working. It's okay if you don't need your hand, then you don't need a blood supply to the hand. But your heart can't stop. You can't just go. The heart can't say, oh, I'll just rest on the couch for a few minutes. No, a few minutes, 6 minutes, you're dead. So your heart can't rest at all. So that constant blood flow is really important. So that's why that in the Takotsubo syndrome, all they have is a constriction of a blood vessel that isn't allowing blood flow to one part of the heart. So it pumps kind of weird for a while until that blood vessel opens up and lets blood flow again, and then it starts working normally again. So when you have heart disease, what we often call heart disease, what we mean is atherosclerosis, atherosclerotic heart disease, or coronary artery disease. And what that means is you have an artery and now it's partially cut off, so you have a limited blood flow. So you have a limited supply. So as long as you're sitting on the couch, okay, your heart's okay, it's working. Then what happens? Well, you get up and walk around and you go, oh man, my chest hurts. I feel like somebody's sitting on my chest. What does that mean? Well, that means part of your heart is not getting blood flow, enough blood flow. It's getting some, but it's not getting enough for the exercise that you're doing. So, and then you increase the exercise and it gets worse. So that's one of the big problems of what we often call heart disease. What we mean is a lack of blood flow because an artery has been diminished by atherosclerosis. So what is atherosclerosis? It's clots. Clots form in your heart. Damage to the lining of the arteries causes clots to form. And those clots can either get dissolved, which often happens, or they can get organized. And organized is like forming scar tissue. So those clots become like scars, and they gather like calcium. So people get a calcium deposits. They thicken the arteries, so the arteries aren't as pliable as they used to be. So blood doesn't flow as well. And then those scars diminish the area of the blood vessels so that there's less blood flow getting to the muscle. So for all those reasons, atherosclerosis is a big problem, and that's coronary artery disease or coronary heart disease. So how do you stop the clotting? Well, inflammation increases your risk of clotting. And that's a really important thing. So if you have chronic inflammation from a lot of different sources, you could have type 2 diabetes increases inflammation. Having extra fat on your body increases inflammation. Having chronic infections increases your inflammation. They did a study once on the relationship between gum disease and heart disease. And guess what? There is a good correlation. Like more gum disease, more heart disease, more gum disease, more heart disease. What the heck? Why would that be? What would your gums have to do with your heart? Inflammation. As you're increasing the inflammation in your body, you're increasing heart disease. So it's important to stop those clots from forming. That's where the inflammation does. It makes more clots. Now, there's another side to that, and that is if you make clots, you should be able to just dissolve them and have a normal artery, and everything dissolves and fixes and it's all good, right? Why does it form scar tissue in there? Why doesn't it just dissolve and make a new artery like normal? Why doesn't it repair properly? Because it can't. If it could, it would. And there's a lot of different reasons why. The main reason is stress. Stress causes coronary artery disease for a lot of different reasons, one of which is whenever you form clots, you don't dissolve them well. The other thing that happens is when you're stressed, the APCs, the progenitor cells that come in to pave over the clot so that you can keep your blood flowing, they don't work when you have a lot of stress. Cortisol blocks them from working, so you don't pave over them. So then you make more and more and more clots, and you're making your blood vessels narrower and narrower and narrower, and letting less blood flow to your heart. So that's why stress is so important. When we talk in our Healthy Heart solution kit in the book, we talk a lot about stress. And everybody goes, what the heck? You know, this isn't like a normal book about heart disease where we're talking about cholesterol and blood pressure and diet and exercise and all that. Yeah, we talk about that stuff. That's important, but it's actually a smaller portion than the stress portion. And so we talk about that. And you don't find that in other books. You don't find how much that affects your potential heart disease. Now, let's talk about one other type of heart disease, and it's called heart failure. So remember, it's a pump, and it's just pumping along, and everything's going good, and you got enough blood flow, and everything seems to be going well. And then it doesn't pump as well. It just like, instead of pumping out like 60 to 70% of the blood, it's only pumping out like 30% or 40% of the blood. So every time it pumps, it's only getting half as much blood out into the body as normal. So it has to beat faster. And when it beats faster, it needs more energy, and it can't get enough energy. So then you go into pump failure. That's called congestive heart failure, CHF. And what happens is then the lungs fill up with fluid because all the blood is coming into the lungs, but it can't get through the heart because the pump is failing. So then your lungs start filling up with blood and then start filling up with fluid. And then that backs up all the way down into your legs, and your legs start swelling up from all this extra water. And that's congestive heart failure. And it's a lack of energy in the heart. So why does that happen? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. So think about this. If you have type 2 diabetes and you have insulin resistance, then insulin blocks your heart from using fat for energy. And your heart needs 60% of its energy to come from fat. But now you've lost 60% of the energy just because you have insulin resistance. So diabetes is a big risk for heart failure because you're not getting the energy that you need in the heart. Any other kinds of things like problems with people have MTHFR, which is an enzyme that prevents the folate from being made into methylfolate so that you make energy. That decreases the energy and decreases the ability for the heart to make more mitochondria. Vitamin B12 deficiency decreases the energy. Not getting enough fat into the muscles, well, like with insulin resistance is one reason for that. A common problem is a lack of magnesium. There's been a lot of research. Dr. Stephen Sinatra is a cardiologist in New York who's done research on this and found that very often people in heart failure, you infuse them like IV magnesium and their heart starts working again because magnesium is required for the heart to relax. So it's one thing to be able to beat, but it also has to relax and let the blood in. What if it doesn't relax? Well, it beats and it just stays like this or relaxes a little bit. And so now you have this still just a tiny amount of blood being pumped out. And then you give magnesium and it goes, okay, now we can go all the way and pump all the blood we need. So congestive heart failure is a problem with the energy system. And it's not just one thing. It's a lot of different things. It could be a lack of blood flow. It could be a lack of vitamin B12, vitamin B9, folic acid, magnesium, energy like L-carnitine, insulin resistance. There's a lot of different reasons for not having enough energy to the heart. So with congestive heart failure, you need to find out why. What is the block in energy? And then fix that, and the heart failure will go away. I had one man came into a nursing home. He was there on hospice. So I've never met him before. And he was like so swollen up from congestive heart failure. He was so filled up with water. It took 5 guys, firemen, to get him off of his gurney and onto the bed. And so there he is laying in bed. He can barely move and in severe congestive heart failure. And and I'm reading through his chart saying, oh, I see you're on hospice. That means you're here to die. He's like, what? I don't want to die. And I'm like, well, you signed hospice papers. That means you don't want treatment, that you're here to die. We're supposed to keep you comfortable until you die. He goes, no. That's not what I want. That's not why I'm here. And I'm like, well, since you signed hospice papers, I can't do any diagnosis and treatment. But I know why you're here because I got all this stuff in the chart. And so I know what you can do. And if you do what I tell you to do, you can walk out of here. He's like, okay, I'll do it. Anything. So I told him what to do, and he did it. And he drained off all his water. He lost like 100 pounds. Like 80 pounds of that was water, which is probably 10 gallons of water. That's how much he was carrying in his body. And he walked out of there 2 weeks later carrying his dog, and he was fine. Well, I haven't seen him since because he's not my patient. But anyway, he did walk out carrying his dog. So the finding the reason why you have the lack of energy and fixing that can fix congestive heart failure. So those are the two big heart disease things. And then the emotional part, that's the other big thing.
So the product we have is magnesium. Would that help someone's heart then?
Yeah, anybody who's deficient in magnesium, how you get magnesium is variable. So the product that we have is a spray, and you spray it on your body, and you do absorb it through your skin. There are other ways of getting magnesium. You can take supplements, and the reason we have the spray is because it wasn't easy to get. And some people just don't tolerate supplements. They get diarrhea from taking oral supplements. But oral supplements are generally okay. Most people tolerate them well, so that's not an issue either.
So what would a pulmonologist say about your heart? Because they talk about the blood vessels, right?
Right. Okay. So it's crazy the way our system works today. That everybody's focused on their specialty. And the pulmonologist would say, like, well, I don't know anything about the heart, so you're going to have to see a cardiologist. Because what the pulmonologist knows is, oh, you might be in congestive heart failure, which is why your lungs are filling up with fluid. But yeah, everybody's so specialized that they don't know about anything outside of their specialty.
Mm-hmm. Certainly a drawback of our current medical system. You can't get a whole treatment from one person, which is good. You can get specialists to help you. But we do have a bunch of questions coming in. Elaine wants to know, how much does autoimmune figure into diabetes?
Okay, so some people have autoimmune diabetes, and that would be diabetes type 1 because they have antibodies that they've made against the cells called islet cells that make the insulin. So that means you would have a decreased or no insulin, and that would cause diabetes. So that is something. If you have decreased insulin or no insulin, decrease we call diabetes type 1.5. And then no insulin is diabetes type 1, where you have to inject insulin. It would be a good idea to test your antibodies and see if you have autoimmune diabetes.
All right, here's someone who says, I have diabetes and multiple other health problems. My gastro doctor put me on a soft diet. She gave a list of hard food to avoid. I need a website that has a soft diet menu.
Soft diet. Okay, I don't know what is meant by a soft diet, because sometimes that means that you should avoid fiber, so we call it a low residue diet. So you don't have a lot of fiber in your diet, or the only kinds of fiber you get are soluble fiber. I have not found that to be a useful thing at all. And I don't know why that would be recommended. And I don't know why the doctor recommended it for you. So if it's a low residue diet, if it's a soft diet, look up low residue diet, and you will get millions of websites to explain that.
Good. All right, we have a couple questions about magnesium. We often get this one. What type of magnesium do you recommend, and how many milligrams?
I know there's all these different types of magnesium. You walk into a health food store and you go, and it says magnesium. It's like this whole shelf, and there's magnesium glycinate, magnesium threonate, magnesium citrate, magnesium oxide, and you got all these different types. Which do I choose? It's so hard. Okay, let me make it easy for you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People are advertising that, oh, this chelated form of magnesium is the one that gets into your brain and it's the one that helps you with your energy production better. Well, yeah, and yes, it's better absorbed. And so what? You just take a little more of the other one and you get the same amount. It really doesn't matter. Getting enough magnesium is really a good idea. And magnesium is a common deficiency. Like a lot of people are deficient in magnesium. It's hard to get enough magnesium. And the only reason for that is because we don't have any staple foods in our diets that include magnesium. So what has magnesium? Nuts, seeds, whole grains, beans, peas, lentils, and anything green. The color green, chlorophyll is magnesium. So if you're eating like our lettuce is what, iceberg lettuce or romaine lettuce that has very little magnesium in it. We don't eat spinach and kale that are filled with magnesium. They're dark green and they have a lot of magnesium. So because of that, it's common to be low in magnesium. So taking a supplement's a good idea. I think everyone should find some way to supplement it. And the type of supplement really doesn't matter, because the 400 milligram dose that you're getting in a regular magnesium is just fine. And if you get the spray, Easy Relief Magnesium, you spray it all over your body and you're going to get an adequate amount.
Yeah, we have a new website. We mentioned this last week. It's bartonsupplements.com. So I pulled up our Easy Relief Magnesium. You can see it here. And if you use the code webinar25, you get 25% off if you want this type of magnesium. Now, someone else asked the question, are there warning signs that you could be deficient in magnesium? Or how would you know if you're deficient?
Okay, the most common warning sign would be twitching or spasms of muscles. And so one of the most common ones is the eye twitching, like your eyelid is twitching really fast and it's just a light twitch, and it might bug you, it might not even bug you. You might just notice it and rub it a little bit. And that's an indication, but getting spasms like your calves at night will cramp up. Cramps, that's a good sign that you may have magnesium deficiency.
Yes. Let's see. What are your thoughts on red light therapy? Does it work? Is it for pain relief, improve cellular function, or balance hormones?
Okay. I don't know anything about red light helping hormones, but let's look at what red light actually does. I wrote a whole article on this in Home Cures That Work. So if you go on the website, you can read the whole article. I'll give you a brief summary right now. And that is, red light is a thing. It's real. It's something. And there are proteins inside your body that are called chromophores. And when the light hits them, it turns them on. What is it turning on? Well, mitochondrial energy production. You actually make energy. And think about it this way. Think about, you wake up in the morning, oh, I'm so tired. And then you walk outside and the sunshine starts hitting your body. And sunshine has a lot of red light in it. And so that's penetrating through your skin, going into your muscles and turning on all your energy systems in your body. And you know what? That's a thing. And so I've done research on this in a lot of different areas. When I was medical director of a nursing home, we had a lot of people with really bad sores, bed sores, diabetic ulcers. And so it was really something that was very difficult to treat. And one thing is the red light therapy penetrates in and helps it to heal faster because it turns on the energy system. So yes, red light therapy is a thing. And they're doing research right now. I was just reading about it on these red lights that you can put on your, it's kind of like a skull cap that has these LEDs in it, and they're super bright LEDs. So they go through the bone of your skull into your brain to turn your brain on. And that's a thing too. It actually has been shown. It really works.
I thought it was for hair loss. I've seen them
Oh
selling
yeah.
your scalp for your hair loss, and you wear masks like Iron Man for your face. Now, what about infrared light? Like a lot of now I'm seeing infrared saunas is quite popular among health enthusiasts. So what's the difference between red light and infrared?
Okay, so on the spectrum, you have blue and then green, then yellow, then orange, then red. Okay, so red is the longer wavelength, and the longer the wavelength, the more it penetrates. So, the red light is more penetrating than the blue light. Blue light just releases all of its energy right on the surface of your skin. That's why you get a sunburn. Whereas the red light, the longer light, so like if early morning sunrise, late at night, the lights are more red. It's more penetrating into your skin as opposed to noonday. Right around noon, you're getting more of the blue light that's immediately being released on your skin, and that's why you get sunburn in the middle of the day, and you wouldn't like early morning or late evening. So then infrared is just a little bit farther, so it penetrates a little deeper as it releases its energy. So there's those chromophores that I was talking about are tuned to very specific wavelengths that they receive, and infrared is a little longer than most of them will. They'll be stimulated at a more red light. The infrared penetrates, releases energy, and increases the heat, dilates blood vessels. And so for all those reasons, the infrared is great for increasing blood flow. But for turning on the energy system, there is a specific red light, and it's in the article I wrote, and I think it's like 430 nanometers or something like that.
I was going to look, but I'm not that fast. But here's a question that might be related to red light or infrared. How does a person with MS increase their mitochondria when they have limited mobility and is unable to exercise?
Okay, there was a doctor, she's still alive. She got multiple sclerosis. So she's a doctor, she's working. She was very active. She was a black belt. I don't know, karate, jujitsu, something like that. And she's, riding around on her bike, mountain biking and all that. And she gets multiple sclerosis, ended up in a wheelchair, like the one that holds your head up, where all you can do is just move the little thing to go around. And she's going to work in a wheelchair like this, motorized wheelchair, getting around. So she's like, she went from doctor to doctor, went to the neurologist, tried all their stuff, nothing worked. And then she went to a functional medicine doctor who gave her a whole bunch of pills for supplements. And she said it stopped getting worse. It stayed. And she's like, if it's not getting worse, but it's not getting better, I wonder, what if I got all those vitamins, all those nutrients that I was given, what if I got them from a natural source? What if I got them from food? So she sat down. She was saying that's all she could do. So, and she went through all of those and said, what is it going to take? And it was like 9 cups of fruit and vegetables a day. And she had to eat liver, and she had to eat seaweed, like once a week, that seaweed. And then she had to have fish. And so she started eating like that. She started eating like that much. And she did a TED Talk called Minding Your Mitochondria. And she wrote a book called The Walls Protocol. Her name is Terry Walls. And she completely reversed her multiple sclerosis. Completely. I saw her at a talk, and she showed pictures of where she was in the wheelchair. And at the time that I saw her, she was perfectly capable of doing everything and had no MS and no repercussions from it. And it's really all about mitochondria. So I think just start out with the book. Read the book called The Walls Protocol, and start with that. That would be a good place.
So very interesting. I admire people who can manage their health like that and turn it around. It takes a lot of commitment and working through uh, the medical system and finding natural functional people to help you. Here's another question about immune problems. If a person has hypothyroidism and takes your immune support supplement, is it likely to exacerbate the immune system into attacking the thyroid?
Okay, great question. The answer to that is no. So the idea that we have is that the autoimmune disease Hashimoto's thyroiditis is due to your immune system being overactive and it's attacking you. It's your own immune system are like your own soldiers turned against you. Now your army's fighting against you. That's really not the way the system works. It's not like that at all. Because over the years, the idea was, oh, you have autoimmune disease. We have to suppress your immune system so that you don't fight against yourself anymore. Does that work? Well, yeah, because now you don't have an immune system anymore. So you can't. But that's not the ultimate reason. Look at it a little bit differently. Let's look at it from the point of view of your immune system is not soldiers, it's janitors. And so all of these janitors are running around trying to mop everything up. They're cleaning, they're wiping all the windows, they're vacuuming everything, they're taking the cobwebs out. And you know, this analogy works for anything. If you want to look at what autophagy is when you fast, when you fast for more than 2 days, your immune system goes to work and starts buffing everything up, taking all the cobwebs out, cleaning everything out. And that's what it does. That's what the system is made for. So if you have bacteria that are in your blood, then they have to clean that up too. You guys make a mess, get out of here, and chases all the bacteria out. And the viruses has to clean those up too and take them all out and all that. So what the heck is going on with the Hashimoto's thyroiditis? You have this TPO, thyroid peroxidase enzyme, that's missing something called selenium. So your cells make the enzyme, but it doesn't have selenium in it, so it doesn't work. And the cells say, oh, that doesn't work, and they throw it out. And then they make another one, and there's no selenium, so they throw that out too. And they make another one, there's no selenium, so they throw that out too. So now you have millions of cells, billions, making an enzyme that doesn't work. And because it doesn't work, they're throwing it out. And your immune system's going, what the heck? Why is all this protein? This isn't supposed to be here. And it starts having to clean it all up. And so your immune system is cleaning up a mess. And a lot of the idea, and actually this research has been done in Japan, where they discovered Hashimoto's thyroiditis. If you add selenium, then you stop making all the extra proteins, and then the immune cells will go down too. So fixing the problem, what's causing the problem, and not just suppressing the immune system and allowing all the dirt to pile up, because now your immune system can't clean up anymore because it's all suppressed. You've chopped off one leg of every one of your janitors, and you say, now try and go clean up. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's a very good explanation. So we have a question here from Nigel, and I know he was talking with Joe, so I want more clarity. He asks, is the stomach the main cause for diabetes type 2?
Oh, that's interesting. So the GLP-1, tirzepatide and donepezide, and what's the other one? Anyway, the GLP-1 agonist, the injections that people are using to lose weight and everything, they stop the stomach from emptying. So people get gastroparesis so that they don't feel like eating anymore. And so they eat less. So their diabetes gets better and they lose weight and everybody's happy, right? So the question is, the problem then the stomach? Well, in a sense, if you don't put anything into it, then that gets rid of the diabetes, but not really. There was another study, another important part about that, and that is when they do surgery on people that have really severe obesity and diabetes, and they remove most of the stomach, so they only have like a 50 cc stomach, then before they even leave the hospital, while they're still recovering, their diabetes goes away. So the question, is the stomach the problem? That's a reasonable question. But the answer to that is no. That's not the issue. When you can only put a tiny bit into your stomach and it empties out pretty quickly, then you stop making insulin. And so there's a lot of more going on than just the fact that the stomach is involved. Of course the stomach's involved. If it wasn't, it's all about eating, right? And where does it go? Well, into the stomach. So the stomach's a part of that system, but it's not the problem.
All right, moving on to a question from Don Montplaisir. Doctor had ordered a CT scan of my kidney area, researching another potential problem when he spotted cancer on one of my kidneys. He said we should go get an MRI after about 4 months and see if it's growing. Any advice on what I can do to shrink this in the meantime? Somewhere I read that fasting may not be good for kidney cancer.
Okay, waiting 4 months. If it's a suspicious lesion, you're going to wait 4 months. If it's a non-suspicious lesion, that looks benign, yeah, waiting 4 months is reasonable. But because there's a lot of tumors and stuff on the kidneys and cysts and stuff that are likely benign. But if it's suspicious for cancer, I don't know if I would wait 4 months. That's kind of unreasonable. But okay, so then let's say it is cancer and you want to get rid of it. What are the things to do? I'd have to research kidney cancer specifically. So go to a website called, it's a website for repurposed drugs for cancer. How to Starve Cancer. There's a book, How to Starve Cancer. The author, I don't remember her name. Darn. Anyway, she's from England, and it's actually pretty well done. There's another book on repurposed drugs for cancer by Dr.
Well,
What?
the first, How to Starve Cancer, Jane McLeland.
Yeah, Jane McLeland. Yeah, she's great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's written several books since then. I've read her books in the past. And that's a good place to start, because they will actually look specifically at the type of cancer that you have and say, this is better for that. So for example, starving a prostate cancer is very different from starving a basal cell carcinoma. No, that wouldn't be a good one. Liver cancer, like a liver cancer is not going to be the same as a breast cancer, right? They're gonna because they act differently. So looking specifically for kidney cancer, the website's pretty good about that. Another one is the FLCCC, the Frontline Doctors FLCCC. They just changed their name, and I don't remember what the new name is. But you can still look it up under that. And they actually have a book on repurposed drugs for cancer, things that you can actually do. And interestingly, there's a lot of parasite medications that work for cancer. And you wonder, well, why would that work? That's for parasites. No, it's for eukaryotic organisms. So there's two different types of cells. The bacteria and archaea are prokaryotic organisms. And that's when you get like an infection with staphylococcus or a urinary tract infection, something like that. That's a prokaryotic organism. So you take an antibiotic that kills prokaryotic organisms, but not eukaryotic. So it doesn't hurt you. It's non-toxic to you, but it's toxic to the prokaryotic organisms. Now, let's look at parasites. Parasites are eukaryotic organisms. They're the same as you. So a cancer is also a eukaryotic cell. And so the anti-parasitic medications that kill parasites also kill abnormal cells, eukaryotic cells, which include cancer cells. So there's a lot of that going on right now, a lot of research being going on. It's really positive. These anti-parasitic medications are working better than chemotherapy in a lot of the studies. So yeah, I would look into that too.
Yeah, I just Googled repurposed drugs and a ton of studies are coming up. Now, is ivermectin one of those drugs?
Yes, ivermectin is one of them, and it's showing a lot of promise in kidney cancer, kidney specifically, among others.
So there's a possibility for you. Do your research though, Don. All right, here's an interesting question. Anonymous says, have you heard of oral liquid chelation known as angioprim? I know of a diabetic who got rid of his neuropathy in his legs. Another had 95% blockage of his carotid artery, already had quadruple bypass several years prior, and after angioprim had 0. Confirmed by by scan in both instances before and after angioprim. One day I had a vice-like grip of pain around my chest. 1 week after angioprim, when pain returned, it was only on the left chest and left back only. The next time pain returned, only in strip under left armpit down to rib, then no more pain. It is cumbersome to take, but worth the end result. There's a newer version called Angioprim Plus, which is less cumbersome to take. That was a lot.
Okay, yes, and thank you for that lot, because while you were talking, I looked it up. Yeah, angioprim is EDTA, ethylene diamine tetracetic acid. EDTA has been used for chelation for many years. I had a patient with severe Alzheimer's disease. We found out it was lead toxicity. We gave him EDTA, and it completely resolved his Alzheimer's disease and his arthritis. So it's a thing. EDTA is real. It works. It's used in things like heavy metal toxicities. And I've used it in other types of heavy metal toxicities, and I've even used it for people that have heart disease. So the question is angioprim the thing? It's cumbersome to take because if you just take it orally, it gets broken down in the intestines, and then it's not useful. So there's no easy way. So the way I gave it was intravenous. I was actually putting it in somebody's vein. Every week they would come in and I would give them 3 grams of it every week. So the question is, could you take it orally and get the same benefit? Maybe. I've seen some of the research on it, and it's plus minus. Maybe there's been suppositories, EDTA suppositories, so that you can bypass the intestines and not break it down where it can get into your blood through your the lining of your colon. So maybe it can work. I don't know, but yes, EDTA is a real thing, and so if you've seen people with success, I believe it.
All right. Here's a question. Does your company have a nattokinase product, and should the supplement contain also serrapeptase and lumbrokinase, or will nattokinase help by itself to address clearing plaque from arteries?
Okay, nattokinase will help. Okay, answer to number 1, no. We don't have a product with nattokinase in it. The nattokinase and lumbrokinase are really quite separated. I've never seen a product with both of them together. And I don't know why they couldn't both be together. They are actually different enzymes, but they both break down clots, and they work in different ways. So it would be reasonable to put them together, but I've only seen them in different formulations, different supplements. And yes, nattokinase works alone. Lumbrokinase works alone. And serrapeptase is a different protease enzyme that doesn't work so much on the clots as like the covering over the scar tissue breaks down the proteins there. So you could take them all, take three different, take a lumbrokinase, a serrapeptase, and a nattokinase. And it, like, if you had clots that you wanted to dissolve, that might help better. But I don't know of any like research or any studies that I could point to say that's a thing. But there's plenty of studies to show that yes, each one of them, they do work.
All right, I think we have time for at least one more question. Is a breakfast of blueberries, strawberries, and a slice of cheese good or bad regarding type 2 diabetes?
Sounds good to me. I'm hungry. I want that.
Yeah.
Um,
So all the sugar in the fruit's gonna be okay?
Yeah, so as long as you don't overdo berries, berries are actually pretty low in sugar, comparatively low in sugar. And so I don't have a problem with that. And then cheese is something that has protein and has fat in it. It's a reasonable thing. It's in fact, I think like the fruit with the cheese or the cheese with the fruit. So the fruit has like fructose and all of that. It makes more uric acid, and then the cheese helps you get rid of uric acid. So dairy products help you get rid of extra uric acid. So that might be a good thing.
It's like eating a charcuterie board for breakfast.
There you go.
Yes. All right. One last question. What is the Spark K3 is all about? Being advertised says it will burn fat and go into ketosis. Is that a product, Joyce? Spark K3? Maybe is she asking, does K3 help you go into ketosis?
Would that be vitamin K? There's
Yes.
a K1, K2, and I'm not familiar with K3. So I can't address that.
Yeah. Sorry. There is a product called K3 Spark Mineral Review. All right. Let's see. Is there a cure for lupus? Is that true that once you have had colon cancer and it's in remission, then within 5 years the cancer returns? Does it go to your liver and you die?
Okay. um, uh, that is a fairly common scenario, but that's not true for everyone. There's plenty of people that are in remission from colon cancer and it doesn't go into their liver and they don't die. And I don't know what the answer to that is because a lot of times people are given things like chemotherapy and radiation that cause cancer stem cells to be produced, and which 5 years later become another cancer in your body. So sometimes the treatment is the problem. So it's not a simple answer because everybody's so different.
Mhm. All right, that wraps it up for you, Dr. Saunders. You got to go take care of some patients. So thank
Bye.
you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Saunders. All right. That was good stuff. We could probably hang
Always
out here a
is.
little bit more as well. I was just gonna, let's see, Jerry had a message for Don. I don't think he could have seen this, but Jerry said, Don, I had the same diagnosis last year and waited 2 horrible weeks for the surgery. My mass proved to be kidney stones, one very large one, which was destroyed. Kidney stones are far better to have than cancer. Here's hoping. All right. So, I also wanted to share a little bit. So let me back up in my chat. I was chatting privately and somewhat publicly with Nigel. So Nigel was just sharing he was a little frustrated with his progress or lack thereof. He's been on Synachroma for 5 months. His A1C has gone up from 11 to 12, and he's losing some motivation. He was asking about coaching. I just encouraged him to not give up and just to know, like, and I asked him, like, how's your diet? How's your exercise? And said his diet isn't so good. Exercises, goes for a walk 2 to 3 times a week. So, and that I think is where coaching could really help someone with that accountability, like, just checking in, like, hey, what are you eating? And then I just encouraged him, if you can experience some small wins, like if you can even like force yourself to go a day with only eating 500 calories or something, and then do that, do some things like that. And then as you start to experience small wins here and there, you start to see some results and then build some momentum, and then your motivation goes up. And so it's all those little things that help. And like the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And some people's elephants are bigger than others, so to speak. But that doesn't mean it's not possible, right? So you just got to start. So Synachroma is great. But Dr. Saunders has said, and we say, like, it's not a cure-all. Like it's one thing that can help, but it's also like it does require, you have to make some changes. And honestly, just looking at what causes type 2, it's too much. It's too much insulin. It's too much blood in the or sugar in the blood. It's too much food consumption. So that's why the stomach, like the more, yeah, if your stomach is growing, like you get hungrier, you eat more. And so it just like accumulates over time. And, we hear all the time, people don't like our long videos, like 45 minutes, just get to the point. And my answer is like, well, it probably took you 45 years to get diabetes. And so if you're not willing to spend 45 minutes to learn some things and just to get connected, then you're probably just not in a position to receive the help that you think you want. But if you're not willing to put in some work, then it's like, it's not my fault. So it does take work. So like the answers, the solutions are simple, but they're not necessarily easy. And so it really does require like a mindset shift. And I think that's part of what we try to teach through our education. And, the more you can learn, the more you can implement, the more you experience the wins, and and it becomes easier and easier. But it can be overwhelming. Like we're talking about chronic diseases that are life threatening and have taken the lives of millions of people every year, heart disease or diabetes or things like that. So we're doing good work, but it takes good work on both sides. And so for anyone struggling with that motivation, like number one, don't give up. Number two, ask for help. Number three, watch our webinars. Number four, implement what you learn. Like the Bible says, don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers of the word also, right? Because it doesn't do any good to listen to all the information but that not do anything about it, right? The magic happens when you do something, and that's where like you add in action with faith or belief or knowledge. So a couple things I just thought I would share that might be helpful.
Joe, I have a leading question. The anonymous says, what are all the bottles on Joe's cabinet?
Well, let's see. I've got healthy heart support. I've got fiber greens. I've got Nervala, healthy gut restore, berberine. Actually, that's a good segue because I wanted to share. You shared the magnesium page on. I want to share our screen. 1 second here on our new website, Barton Supplements. So I'm just going to do that for anybody sticking around here. Boom, there we go. I think you can see that.
Yep.
So yeah, this is our new website that we just launched. It's like version 1, and we've connected. It's a Shopify store now, which makes our checkout process a lot easier, which we were having troubles with our old store. It was just complicated. And so we've brought all of our supplements into Shopify, and you can just learn more about us. It's categorized by blood sugar health, heart health, gut health, and daily health. So let's look at heart health today. These are a couple things that we've put in here. We could add magnesium to this as well, but we've got Healthy Heart Support Plus, and then we've got 81 reviews here, and then we've got turmeric BP, we've got omega-3, and then each of these, let's just click on, oops, we don't want to click add to cart yet. We'll click on the product, and then you can see like there's some options here where you can get a bottle of omega-3 for as little as $37.33 per bottle if you choose the 6-bottle bundle. And And then you can also, and that's if you do the subscribe and save. So then you can choose, do you want to do that every 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks? So that's a great way to save money. And if you see this little coupon code down here, you can get 15% off your first order when you sign up. I think you put your, is this an email address or phone number? We probably need to clarify that.
Yeah.
Good note, but sign up and you'll save 15% off additionally on that. And so then you can, let's see, click on that. This is V1, so version 1, oh, here we go, add to cart. So we're gonna be making some tweaks to this as well. But then if you want to add some bottles of Healthy Heart Support, we can do that as well. Click here, and $37 a bottle there as well. So anyways, this is our new site. I'm super proud of my team that's been putting in a lot of work to get this launched, and it's just a much easier checkout process. We've got a lot of testimonials here as well. And here's all of our products, and those are the ones that I've got on my shelf because I take them every day. Most of them. I take berberine, which is a great product. It's got milk thistle in it, which helps with absorption and helps with the liver. Turmeric BP, great for inflammation. I take this almost every day. I track my numbers on my Whoop band. Our whole team had Whoop bands, and it tracks our heart rate variability, your sleep. It gives you like different scores for like your strain levels, stress levels. I can share more about the Whoop some other time, but omega-3 is one of like those daily fish oil, EPA, DHA products that we need that helps with our brain health, heart health. And we just don't like that ratio. Dr. Saunders has talked about the ratio of your omega-6s to omega-3s is a more important sign of your cardiovascular health than like your blood pressure or cholesterol is. So and then taking omega-3 just boosts that level of 3 to get that ratio lower, and it just like this strong correlation of longevity. Healthy Gut Restore honestly is my favorite product. Like I've had digestive issues my whole life because I was born with Hirschsprung's disease, which was part of my intestines just didn't work. The nerves were dead, and so they had to like cut out a third of my large intestine. And since then, I had always had digestive issues, gas and bloating and cramps and stuff like that. But then we formulated this, and I take it every day, and like not only has it greatly improved my digestive issues, but like I've noticed like any muscle soreness completely gone. Like I never have muscle soreness, rarely, like unless I forget to take it. But what's in the product is digestive enzymes, specifically bromelain, which is it breaks down protein. So I think my body has a harder time breaking down protein, and then it gets I forget fibrins. I think it gets in the blood, and they're like just irritating. So it's combined with it, inflammation causes stiffness. So that was like a fun little side benefit of that. And then Eagle Eye Vision is a great formula for people that have any concerns for eye health, and it's got the AREDS 2 ingredients plus some extra ingredients that Dr. Saunders has put in there in his formulation that he's found through research, like saffron, for example. And then Nervala is one of our best-selling products that helps with neuropathy. And I don't know if we have iodine available right now, honestly. Like that
I don't think we do, and I'm not seeing Healthy Heart on there either.
I think Healthy Heart is up here.
Well, not
Yeah.
in that picture though.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so we need to add Healthy Heart on this picture. So
Take iodine
good note,
away.
good note. We're probably missing a couple others. We have immune support, and Niagara XL isn't on there either. That's a really good product for libido and things like that that decreases over time. Fiber Greens is a great like a daily nutrient drink that has high fiber and lots of fruits and vegetables. So if you have a hard time getting enough fruits and vegetables, or a hard time with having regular bathroom visits, fiber greens, super helpful with that. It's super low carb as well, which is great for people with blood sugar issues. And then my favorite spray is my Easy Relief Magnesium. I keep a bottle next to my bed and on my desk. I just was spraying myself a little earlier. Like almost everybody is deficient in magnesium, and we just don't get it enough in our diet. And this way, you spray it on your skin, and your skin only absorbs how much it needs, as opposed to like if you take a supplement, you might take too much, and then you get diarrhea or things like that. So it's a great way to take it. Super easy, less pills to swallow as well. So. But yeah, that is a little sneak peek at our new website, which is super fun. And yeah, there's our team. And what else we got on here? Our core values: honor God, help people more, get stuff done right. Got some of the team on here. This is expanding as well. So, anywho, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for staying on. 65 people still on, so fantastic. Any other questions or things here, Cheryl, before we sign off?
There's someone asked if what happens when they wake up in the middle of the night and have cramps and can't walk. That's usually a that could be, we can't say positively, that could be a magnesium deficiency. And can red light penetrate through a sunscreen on your skin? That would be a Dr. Saunders question.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I think yes, because it's a different wavelength than the UV light. So the sunscreen protects against UV light, not necessarily against a red light.
I believe you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. We had Mary shared some stuff about the coaching program. There was a bit of a glitch, and she got connected with a coach that wasn't the Barton coach. So they were talking about some weight loss things that wasn't the Dr. Saunders way. So we found out. I talked to Chad, and he's like, "Oh shoot, she's got put into the wrong group," and so she got refunded. But if anyone is interested in that coaching, bartoncoaches.com is the site to go to, and you take a little assessment there, and then you can get connected. But then you will get matched up with a coach that is like Barton certified and Dr. Saunders certified as well. Teaches the same thing that we teach, but adds that extra layers of accountability and education and kind of that one-on-one, which can be super helpful, especially if you feel like you're in a rut and things like that. So, but yeah, heading into the 4th of July weekend here, everybody stay safe and try not to get any fingers, too close to the fireworks. Yes, webinar 25 is a 25% discount. That should work on any of our websites. So bartonsupplements.com. If you try to go to bartonnutrition.com, that should redirect to Barton Supplements now.
Yeah.
And then, also bartonwebinar.com. There's links at the bottom of those pages that bring you to Barton Supplements as well. So, but yeah, you can use that coupon code, save some more money. And we're all about helping people more is our core value number 2. Cheryl is our head of customer service and customer support, does a great job with that. We're always looking for ways to improve how we can help you live the life that we think we're intended to live. Like how God created us was to be healthy and thriving, and there's not always easy answers for everything. Like we still have flawed bodies, and we all have some struggles, but there are a lot of things that we can do to help walk in health. And I think too, like that whole concept of putting our faith in God. Like, what was that Bible verse I came across? There's just like a key, like in your health journey is like continue to like seek God in your life, and that's key. Like it's I think that ultimately is like gets down to our purpose. Like, why are we here? What is our purpose, and what are the unique gifts and abilities that God put inside of us that we can share with the world to better the world and make the world a better place. It starts with you. Like, you got to put your own oxygen mask on first, right? So that you can help the people around you, and then it just becomes a multiplication effect. But that's what we're here for, to help you get healthy and live your best life, experience transformation, have a community of people that support you. And before we go, I would love anyone in the chat, share a testimonial. What have you experienced? Let's try to get 5 people that are still here. Just like pop it in the chat, like, hey, my A1C was this and now it's that, or my energy levels were this, or how much weight you lost, or what you're able to do now that you weren't able to do. We're just going to hang on here. We're going to have a little testimony time. We're going to share these. People are still here. That means that they are still interested. So, and then we will share these with our team, and then with others as well. So, all right, we're going to wait here.
Yeah, and Barbara, you raised your hand. If you want to put, I'm sorry, we won't take that, but if you want to put your question in the Q&A or in the chat, we'll be able to hear you out, answer your question. Maybe you can answer this question, Joe. What is the difference between the diabetic phase 1 supplements versus the phase 2 supplements?
That is a great question. I think Dr. Saunders would give better better answer for that. Honestly, I think all of it is good for, like, I mean, I'm not diabetic, and
Mhm.
I take all of the supplements myself. Like, I talk about this with my team. Like, I feel like all of our products can be taken every day for a long time, because they just help with nutrient deficiencies that we don't get in our diet. So I don't know specifically on phase 1 or phase 2, but I do know one question that's often asked is like, can I take Nervala while also taking Synachroma or whatever? And the answer is always from Dr. Saunders, like, yes. Like, it's almost like eating like foods. Like, you're just taking more spices or more eating, yeah, different like nutrients in your food. So I mean, yes, you can take too much water, you take too much of anything, right? But for the most part, all of our products are work together, and they work whether you're on phase 1, phase 2, or the maintenance program. So Edgard Jaquez, he wants my phone number. I'm sorry, Edgard, I don't give that out. I wouldn't get anything done productively, but you have your opportunity to ask questions on this webinar. You can also reach out to our customer support team. They have all the answers, for most things. I don't know what else to say to you there, my friend, but we got
But
Richard with the testimonial. Lost 40 pounds and dropped his A1C from 7.4 to 6.0. Big change was limiting carbs, but supplements helped. That's awesome. Well done, Richard.
That's amazing.
All
And
right.
Joe Flattery writes, I recently went on a trip and I took fiber greens with me. The taste is fantastic and it kept me regular. In fact, it tastes so good that a few of my friends started taking it as well.
Woo! All right, Joe. Love hearing that. That's awesome. I think am I missing a phone call right now that I'm supposed to be on? I am. Sorry, Michelle.
All right.
I gotta go, but let's
Uh,
hang on for one more minute here. A1C down from 6.4 to 6.1 in the past 3 months. I have a coach. Highly recommended. Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. Love hearing that. And do we have any others that are typing? Like, finish typing, hit send. We're gonna read it here in
And
30
I got to
seconds.
copy these into our testimonial
Oh
channel.
yeah. Love it. Love it, love it. Here we go. Hoping Healthy Heart Solution helps my 19% EF rate along with all my prescribed meds. 3 weeks until my next echocardiogram. All right, Philip, we're there with you. You can do it. Don't give up. We're excited. Come back and share those results with us after that echocardiogram. Should you drink Premier Protein? That'll be a good question for next week. So come on back next week. And we're here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time. Dr. Saunders answers your questions. This is free for all the Barton customers, which is like, where else can you find this? This is just great value. So
Mm.
thanks everyone. Also visit our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search Barton Webinar. We've got like over 300 episodes recorded. You could be watching those all week long until next time and not be done yet. So, but don't do that because then you won't get any sleep.
Oh, Gail is sharing one. When I was able to take the key products, I was doing fantastic. A1C, blood pressure, everything was down to normal. Great stuff.
All right. We'll end it there
you.
with Gail. Cheryl, thank you as always. Well done.
Thank you, Joe. Glad to see you and have you on here. And we'll catch everybody next week. Bye.
All
Happy
right.
4th and safe 4th.
Bye.